Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Alicia. I am filming this without even knowing what I'm going to title this. So that is probably unusual. Normally I have an idea. But anyway, if you guys have been following along or watched my last video, you guys know I'm on my Tirzepatide compound journey. And I just have a few thoughts to kind of go over with you guys. I would also love any of your input. Like, I think I found a lot of new people because of that video. And so if you're on this journey too, I would love to hear, a little bit about, the good, the bad, any tips or tricks you have. But I have 5 kind of note points here to talk about because I feel like this can be a confusing thing. Sorry, I have a table up here. There's stuff on the table. Can be confusing. You hear these things, you see these things, like what should you believe? And I don't know. These are just some things. Number one, I feel like you have to make sure you're administering it correctly. So I will link my first video about Tirzepatide below in the description box. But I had alluded to that I wasn't sure I was getting the right dose because the second week, nothing happened. So my very first week on Tirzepatide, it was like crazy. No hunger. My stomach hurt when I ate. It was like locked in. There was no way I was going to overeat. The second week, I didn't feel like anything was happening. And I didn't think anything about it too much because it was the week before my period and that's when I get hungrier. But I didn't really think that the vial had moved much. And then when I gave myself my third shot, I knew for sure. So you need to make sure you know how to administer for you. People who are on name brand Mounjaro or Zepbound probably have nothing to worry about. I think they have an automatic pin that just does their thing. Most compound places seem to give you a vial within a syringe. Mine does not. It gives what I think is like an insulin pin because that's what the needles are called. And so you crank it up and then you're supposed to push it down when you insert the needle in your skin. I don't think I read the directions fully. So when I cranked it up, I thought I could just crank it down. And so I literally was not even giving myself medicine. So you need to know what you're doing. So I crank it up and you push it down. I think the first week I just got lucky that I was cranking and somehow it cranked and pushed at the same time. Anyway, so make sure you're giving yourself the right dose. My husband also was kind of sending me an article of people are overdosing. So you don't want to do that. So make sure you know how to administer and you know the proper dose. Because I actually lost weight that week, but it was by my own grit of, doing what I was supposed to do. Number 2, you hear a lot of it's not working. You're not losing weight. I think you really, really have to listen to your body. And I think for the most part, except for the administering, most of these things can be applied to any diet. We need to listen to our body. So I gave myself that second shot finally with actual medicine. I think it took about 24 hours, like a full 24 to 30 hours before I really felt an effect. I was half convinced I didn't actually give myself a shot anyway. But I think we have to really listen to our body. Especially with these injectables, they're such touted as such awesome things. You expect almost like a miracle overnight success or something. And so I was half convinced it wasn't doing anything. But if I really sort of ate slower, really listened to my body, it was working. I'm not quite sure that first day, but by day 2, it was in effect. I still felt hungry. And so, which is not a bad thing in my mind. But I digress. I think when I get on a higher dose, I might not feel hungry. That first week, I literally didn't feel hungry or feel a need to eat. Second week, I was feeling hungry, which is why I didn't think it was working. But I had no food noise. I was able to not finish my plate if I was satisfied or full. I felt full. Now, I will say it took me a little longer to feel full. So it was working, kind of in a more subtle, mild way. But gosh, I'm so happy that the head noise is gone. It is so awesome to feel satisfied. In the past, if I got Chipotle, I ate the whole bowl. That was the serving. I was going to eat the whole thing. Now I stop when I'm satisfied or full. And I was not able to do that before. Like, I would just eat the whole thing. I would feel hungry or I'd want more. That is no longer the case on this medicine. So I feel like we have to listen to our body. And also, number 3 here, we have to understand with any diet, anything you're doing, there's going to be ups and downs. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. And you have to teach yourself to be okay with that. And I know that's hard because I did Weight Watchers for over a decade. And we punish ourselves if the scale's not going down, or, you know, maybe you're at the birthday party and you had the cake. Guess what? It's okay. It's okay to be at a birthday party and have a piece of cake. So we have to try to regulate our emotions. It's okay to live life. It's okay if you make a mistake. Nobody's perfect. I guarantee everybody out there, we didn't gain the 100 pounds overnight. You're not going to lose the 100 pounds overnight. So I really feel like we have to like focus on, there's going to be ups and downs. It's going to be okay. Another thing I hear a lot on the, this like Tirzepatide journey is, you know, people say they're still hungry or it's not solving their hunger issues. I also think we have to look at what you're eating. And I just got a random idea this week. Oh, I should have brought it with me. Anyway, to buy still the keto bread. So I was down the bread aisle at Walmart. I was looking at the keto bread. I bought, I don't know, it was like $4.50. It was like a no-name brand I'd never heard of. 30 calories a slice. It had, I don't know, somewhere between 8 and 10 grams of fiber per piece. And then around 4 or 5 grams of protein per piece. And I like having toast. I will say the bread isn't as good as regular bread, but it's also not terrible. So to me, it's a fine substitution. You feel it in your stomach, like in a good way. Like you feel like something substantial is in your stomach. I wasn't hungry for a long time. Like I really didn't want to eat lunch until like 1 o'clock that day. And so I feel like we also have to help fuel our body with things that are going to help you stay fuller longer, feel fuller longer. Also, one of the issues on Tirzepatide is the lack of going to the bathroom. And that fiber toast helped that. Like I had no issues. And so I feel like we have to, again, listen to our body and give it what it needs. You need to make sure you're getting lots of water. And I really think fiber helps me, anyway, feel fuller. I will say, again, I should have brought them with me. I tried a fiber, like kind of like a keto cereal. Number one, it was almost unedible because it was like a little bag. It was like $6. It was an expensive cereal. It looks terrible. And it doesn't taste so good. I will probably finish it just because it's something different. It wasn't totally horrible. It didn't give me, it did fill my stomach, but I feel like the bread was just better all around. It was edible, almost enjoyable, what have you. But if you're on this journey and you're not feeling satisfied for a long time, add fiber. However you can, add fiber. All right, and my last thing, and this is probably, again, good for anything, if you're starting this journey and you've never, like you don't have a background of healthy eating, you probably need to educate yourself. I started this on the medicine maybe with a leg up because I had done Weight Watchers for years. I battled my weight for decades. And so I had an idea of what a healthy food is. I've had an idea of what a normal or a regular serving size is. So I kind of already came armed with those things. I've read books over the years. I've picked up tidbits from videos I've watched, books I've read, programs I've done. So if you are like, you basically had an unhealthy lifestyle for the last 10 years and you're starting this medicine, you're going to help yourself if you educate yourself on healthy eating, what's the right calories you should be eating, what are good foods to eat. And I feel like we also have to remember, personally, you're going to want to incorporate treats. It's okay. We're humans. We're not meant to never have a treat. But I think it's important. Also, if you're not losing weight, like I see a lot of those comments in like the chat room or videos that you're not losing weight, then I would really try to do a calorie app, something, so that, you know, put in your stats. What's your height? What's your weight? See what you're supposed to be eating, because every person's different. That whole 2,000 calorie diet is for like the average person, but there's some of us who are 6'4". There's 5 foot people and everyone in between. So do a calorie app and see where you're at. That way you know you're not eating too much. You also know you're not eating too little. So that's just some, I don't know, some of my thoughts now that I'm completing my, for sure, second week on this medicine. I am still a big fan because I really like not having the food noise, being able to stop when I'm full. I literally spent my whole life wondering how the skinny people did it, but now I kind of get it. It's easier when your receptors are now working to know when you're full, stop, to not overeat. The sweets, the cravings, they are not calling my name. I don't really have them. I can just, oh, I ate a cookie, no big deal. Whereas before I would eat a cookie and I'd want 20 cookies, literally. Anyway, if you're on this journey, I would love to hear from you. Anyway, I hope you have a great day and I will talk to you soon.